Boom, back on YouTube and start all. So we're on Twitch, we're on Kick. I'm gonna hit that backlight and get some tea going. Some green tea because I need a little more energy. I'm feeling logy. Honestly, just want to curl up on the couch and take a nap with the TV on, but I should be productive. Especially because it's after lunch. I'm always lazy after lunch, digesting. So what I want to do today, as the title suggests, is work on this cover art, and I want to play around with the blur effect to really try and get some sense of depth. So let's minimize OBS, and I'm gonna go to ChatGPT for this. Start a new chat and ask, in Krita, is there a way to blur a layer to create the illusion of depth? Because when something is far away and we're not looking directly at it, then it blurs a little bit. And when something is close and we're not looking directly at it, it blurs a little bit in our vision. And so I want to get that effect with Arista here to where her face and chest, even though shadow is coming up from underneath, is in clear focus, and that the hand with the claws and some of the hair that's going back and maybe even the tail, all that will be slightly blurred out. Yes, it's actually a really powerful way to fake depth of field in Krita. Here are the main ways. Best for fast, destructive blur. Select the layer you want. Go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Adjust the radius. Click OK. OK. And it's not just... Okay, filters up here, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm not seeing the effect, so that's disappointing. Let's take that to 010. Try that at 10. Oh, now it's showing me a little bit of blur. Okay. And okay. Hair redo 9. Filter. Set that to 8 pixels. Okay. Here we do 3. Six. So it's subtle, but it's there. And then, let's see. I go up to the hand layer. I hit filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay. I'm going to save that till I actually get like some depth and stuff painted in on that. Alright. So yeah, that exists and it's easy to do. So we figured out how to do the blur technique already. That's awesome. Next, I need to, I think I want to do lips real quick while I'm at it. So, quick side note, I got caught reading my book for the first time in public. Someone actually asked, like, did you write that? Yeah. Because I was taking a lot of notes on chapter 1 because I identified a bunch of mistakes that I had made. So I was going through and doing some corrections with that. So I found like 3 issues in chapter 1 that just I couldn't tolerate. Yeah, let's do that. So, like the very first full sentence had an error in it. So I corrected that, and then a couple pages later, like page 3, there was another issue that I didn't like. Got that taken care of, and then the use of the word flounder. Like I used floundered and floundering in too short of span to each other, and so I got rid of the second use of the word flounder or floundering. Just replaced it with searching, because I used the word at one point and I was happy with it then, and then just use it again. And that's just a bad habit that I have of writing, where like I'll use a word and the brain will be like that sound, good mouthfeel, and then I end up doing it again because it's sort of like a positive feedback loop or something. And I swear to God, there should be a word for when you use the same word repeatedly. And the only thing I found for it is bad editing, but you would think the Germans would have invented something to describe that phenomenon. But I do that a lot, where I'll get fixated on a particular word, and then I just can't stop saying the word for whatever reason. So ordinarily, I would go through and try to smooth this out. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and try and make this a little bigger by adding to it instead of erasing bits from it. All right. And then the nose. Fuck the nose. God, I don't want to do the nose. And the layer. This one actually needs to go above eye whites. Call it iris is color. And then we look for a new color. Sea green. Well, okay. I was thinking that might be it, and sure enough, that's it. That's exactly the color I want. So we're going to up. All right. If I do this. That's almost too perfect, except it's too fat. So drop the size down to okay. I do Control C, Control V, boom. Enter, zoom out. She look cross-eyed. Does look like she's following me? She does. Hell yes. Yes, that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. We want that look of like wherever you go. Yes, her eyes are watching. Perfect. Bam. What's up, Stokes? How you doing? Sweet. Let's go in and erase the top bits. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Drop the size. Oh, it's not that layer. Okay, let's merge these layers. Well, that's weird. Merge with the layer below. Creepy. Yeah, I know. I gotta do a color swap. I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking. Something that pops. Green naturally, like the sea green that I'm working with naturally pops. Or I could do blue if I go with a darker background. But yeah, yep, for sure. With her hair taking up more space, definitely. Iris color. All right. Got the eraser tool. Yep. So we can That is not big enough. Clean that up. Do 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 do. Okay, let's get rid of that. See how it's holding up so far. Bam! Next, I gotta play around with skin tone. And I gotta do the worst part of all human anatomy, which is the fucking nose. I hate noses. I hate noses with a passion. What the hell is this? This weird after image hair thingy. I hate it when it does that. Well, I may not even need that layer. Shit. Okay. Let's do a quick save. I hate when it does that. Get these weird after images of effects where it'll just like put it up in a spot and show like some sort of weird shadow thing of one of my layers, or in that case, like multiples of one of my layers. Boom, and now it's not there. Just a weird saving glitch. And I got the spot on my monitor, which I always think is dirt I can get off. Alright, the nose. I'm going to do a search. Let's see. New window. Now I describe her as having a square nose. So let's see. Female square nose. Description: characterized by a prominent bridge that curves downward, giving it a hooked appearance. They are often considered aristocratic or regal. Okay, so I don't have to worry about nostril. Like, it would be a little bit more on the downside than the upside. So not the cute, curved, upturned little piggy snout where you can kind of see their brain and you get afraid when they're about to sneeze. But the down, slightly down. Okay. Give me some images. Square face shape, female nose types, how to color noses. What makes a beautiful nose? Symmetry, proportion, and shape. All angle. Looking for a straight-on shot of a nose that I can use. Like the head is kind of down, forehead more up. So yeah, it's. Go ahead and pop this up here. Oh yeah, still on the cover. The one that I've been using gets flagged by AI, and I don't know if the one that I'm doing is any better, but this is coming along closer to what I had originally had in mind when I was working on the cover, but this felt like it was too complex. So I'm using my issues with sharing posts and whatnot to just learn. I might not end up using it, but I will be better at using Krita and be a better digital artist just for trying. Flat, round, brown, contoured. No, let's make up stuff. Best hairstyles for square faces. God, the internet is such a nightmare. Beautiful women who embrace their square shape. This is what, Elizabeth Hurley? You say that's her name? The angle isn't right, but she certainly got the cheekbones. But again, too square. It's not rounded. I see her as having high cheekbones and a rounded face. A lot of profile pics. This is the type of shit that I like to use AI for sometimes, but it's so unreliable. Where you put in what you want and you try and get it a prompt that's like kind of close that you can use for reference, but okay, now I'm looking at sunglasses and earrings for some reason. Let's see, female square nose. Real human nose, female cartoon nose. How to draw the female nose. You know, just out of curiosity, let's look at that. Okay, yeah, the triangle method. Yep. Or the pyramid method. Okay, so they go with a lower triangle and then soft shading upwards and then draw. Yeah, okay. Huh. Except I've got an angle to work with. What do I mean by flagged by AI? When I post images of the cover of my book, like I take a picture of my book and I go to share it on like TikTok or even Facebook or something like that in order to promote this, it will only promote to like friends and family and won't actually promote it to the masses because, and I asked another AI engine like what might be preventing this because I've gotten flagged as like this is inappropriate content and too much skin tone, too intimate, showing too much back, which is ridiculous with all the Gooner feed nonsense crap that'll show up on my social media sites. Yeah, that'll show up on my feeds is just ridiculous. And those are real people. But, yeah, a couple different things where AI censors it, which is just ridiculous. And part of the reason to do racy content and romantasy and stuff that has sexual content to it is most AI can't generate that. So by making something that is controversial and racy and like has known tropes but goes off the beaten path, it kind of proves that it's not AI generated. I mean, unless you're using like Grok or something like that, which apparently people are using to make straight up porn with. But I don't like to touch anything that's got Elon's hands on it. A lot of side no's. Alright, let's get out to. Okay. Right. Angled from above. Yeah, I got into doing romantasy because I mean I want to be doing epic adventures, but people always say the romance scenes that I do are wonderful. Like I write romance pretty well. I also draw adult content very well. It's what I got praised the most for when I was in college for game design. My art teacher was blown away by it and would tell everybody that this is Jack, he's good at drawing sex. It's like, okay, I don't want to be introduced that way, but thank you. And he's a professional in the game design industry, and he said, you know, there are a lot of professionals that really wish they could draw what you draw, how you draw it. So yeah, and then whenever I'm telling a woman that I write, you know, epic fantasy, and I want to contribute to the classics, and I want to write something that's going to be a part of the humanities someday, and all about growth. Yeah, it is a very weird intro. It's a very weird intro. But whenever I tell people about like the depth of character development and all this that I want to write, like guys are like, that's really cool, man. There's quite a lofty ambition. Women, for some reason, whenever I tell them that I write, are like, is there a lot of sex? I like books with a lot of sex in it. So when romantasy kind of flashed across my screen as this is the top selling genre right now, I was like, okay, but that's all I knew about it. What's up, Slap That Ashy? Yeah, that's all I knew is draw romantic stuff, which romance is a ridiculous genre. It's all about exaggeration. And then make sure that you have a certain degree of sexual content. But at the same time, because I publish on Amazon and that stuff gets flagged if it's too graphic, I have to, I write my stuff as poetically as I possibly can. So it's possible to read a passage that I've written that's all about sexual intercourse, but not realize that I'm actually talking about sexual intercourse because I use such highfalutin poetic language in how I set it up. In fact, the scenes where I get really romantic and a little bit tawdry, I will change the format of how I'm writing and make it more poetic just for those bits. Draw a nose in 7 angles. Do I have to bust out an action figure? I have to bust out an action figure. I have some of my toys in a box here next to me, but it's like I gotta move a bunch of stuff to dig out like my Taylor action figure for my He-Man set. Or do I? Maybe I can just lift it. Oh, oh, oh. No. Damn it. No, I actually need a figure with facial features. I'm trying to draw a nose right now. Arista's nose. I'm trying to get that put in. What I did use, go ahead and close that because you were useless to me, Internet. What I did use was Figma or Fima, or it's boom. So I used a photo of one of those like doll things and actually like traced my lines in order to get the body shape in. Like I can move that now. I was going to do that anyways. Nope, wrong layer. The floating eye thing going here. There. That's actually the reference that I used, and I wanted to do that anyways because I want to use a Gaussian blur effect when I get this hand layer painted in order to create this blurriness in the hand because I really want that forced perspective. So the hand will get softer, and then I should do the same thing with the tail, even though you can't even see the tail. But I started this stream by playing around looking for the Gaussian blur effect, figuring out how to use it, and use it on some of the base layers of her hair, which you can't even see. But I'm just being like particular and trying to figure out how different things work. Yeah, put that there. I don't need to reference it anymore. Sweet. So I'll be back because I have a box of toys that I keep meaning to sell, to like post on eBay or something like that. So I'm gonna go grab a figure designed by J. Scott Campbell because I love everything he does, even though his work gets really repetitive. Alright, not the figure I was looking for, but she's actually got her head in the angle that I need. So, I don't even remember. Carl Maxima? What the fuck is her name? I don't know. I just saw the stand that she's supposed to like go. But yes, I need better lighting and yeah. Yeah, that's a good angle. I just need better lighting to work with. Let's see. Can I put you here? She stands. She stands. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. And now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to flash you guys. See how bad does that look on camera? Oh, I can work with that. I can work with that. Can I Maybe bend you just a little bit. No, you do not have knee joints, do you? No. No. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, she's got some movable parts, but this is not an action figure. This is a figurine. Bend you back a little bit, stands you up, work you in there. Sorry. I mean, for the record, I am a son, but that's... Maybe I can try putting it here. Alright. How do I want to do this? Let's see. Let's go back to color, face, skin. Go up one layer. Select multiply. Go to the color selection tool. Hit the eyedropper. Select that so I got the exact same skin tone. And then turn on paint layer 4. Why do I keep calling it paint layer 4? Let's call it draft sketch. Bam. Alright, I think, yes, while we're on draft sketch, select a pen tool. Actually, you know what, let's not. Let's keep that the way it is. Move draw, select the draft pencil on that layer. Work on shaping this a little better. Get the underside, go ahead and get that a little bit of a point. Curve in. Sharpen up the detail on this. Hate drawing noses. Just hideous, disgusting things, but you all gotta have them. I don't know. I mean, hands. I think the worst part about hands is trying to make them look just natural. Like, that's the part. Like, just check this out. Didn't even try. Didn't even try. Now, coming up with that pose while I'm drawing, that's difficult. But that just happened. That's the hard part about hands, because you come up with some weird postures when you're drawing. So a little bit of a ridge there, a little bit of something. And the trick is I want to paint these values in and not draw these values in. I'm trying to do something where I didn't even bother going with like an inking phase. I just went from draft to paint because I want it to be like kind of classic. Like I'm going for more of the realistic, more of like the 80s barbarian mythic sort of fantasy type stuff. I might try painting in some black, though. Okay, I'm going to get my tea real quick. Today we're doing green tea with mango. In order to help wake me the fuck up. Alright, layer 9. Keep my head up so I don't blind y'all. Nose. Nope, that's not working. Nose. Shadow. Paint. And let's go back to a basic black. And take my line art. What did I call that? Draft sketch. Drop that under my nose shadow paint line. Okay. Try to make it disappear from the hand and whatnot. Garrett, I see as being like mid-30s. But then people in my book have irregular lifespans, which I haven't even bothered getting into because it hasn't been necessary yet. Arista, we don't know. She could be around the same age as Garrett. She could be hundreds of years old. We don't know. I still haven't even decided. She's kind of eternal. So I have another character that I'm planning on introducing in the third book who is in his 400s. He's half high elf, half something else entirely that we don't like to talk about. And I don't know how I want him to relate to her age-wise. If I want her to be even older or younger or what. Like, Arista's been on a cursed island for we don't know exactly how long because time on the cursed island moves at its own pace. And Garrett had a hard time just accounting for how long he was there. But when he gets back to his own kingdom, everyone tells him, like, it's been 3 years. So it's really hard to say just how old Arista is. She seems young, but I've got a lot of characters that are, you know, at least a century old, but they look like they're in their 20s. And then humans in my world live to be like a good 120 years old. Paint? No. Digital. Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. Alright, what do I want to use? Do I want to use the light in, light out? Do I want to use... What's this? What do we call this? Flow opacity. Alright, let's try this. Son of a bitch, I hate it when I do that. I hate it when I do that. So yeah, ages are kind of all over the place. Like Garrett, I see as being in his 30s. His older brother is in his 40s. His youngest brother is in his 20s. And he's got a nephew and a niece that are both in their low 20s, like 20 and 24. Whereas his little brother, Galen, would be like 29. Well, that ain't bad, isn't it? We're going for more of a square shape here, a little bit of a beak coming down. Modeled after, no, just kind of a character design that came to mind. I mean, there's a bit of a debate amongst my personal circle that she's based loosely on my wife. But appearance-wise, I just went with features that just kind of went with what I was feeling for the character. I will start my characters as with rough ideas, like loosely based on people that I know that I've dealt with, and then they evolve from there, and they become kind of like characters. And this is the rough part about painting is you always move into like this ugly phase where you kind of break things a little bit. Damn it. So my wife actually does have purple hair. And she loves her long ass bougie nails. But that's about where the physical description kind of stops. Ugh, quit with this. Where's the button? Ah. It's hard to find the button because the light's blinding me. Ooh, still too hot. Let's see. Bigelow. Yep. Bigelow, green tea with mango. Maybe a little specular highlight there, but I want to keep working on shadow at this point. I'll be sloppy with this layer and then use the selection tool to clean it up later. Let's see. Okay, so what's going on with this? This should be below this. Boom. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. Okay. I forgot. I'm using the blur tool in order to... I painted this in layers so I can apply a Gaussian blur to a particular layer and then soften it up. So as you get closer to the camera, it'll become more fuzzy. As you get further away from the camera, it'll be more fuzzy, and just her face will be in sharp clarity. So like it's a very fixed perspective. So maybe face and chest. Like I'm okay as long as I do shadow on those two things and nothing else. But then for the hair, oh really? It's a controversial tea? Is it not ethically sourced? Do they use bruised mangoes? Lighten up there, darken up here. Yeah, that's a little too much. There should be more lines. Let's keep it soft for now. All right. Bam. Bam. Alright. And then go back to let's call this shadow paint. Bam. Okay. So what I've done is selected that layer with just the body, gone back to the shadow paint layer, and then increasing the brush size. So I can try and duplicate this shadow that I have over here. Here. And that'll give me the shadow of the arm on Zaboobel. Light shadow there, darker here. Then let's go to the face layer, select this tool again, and hit Alt, bam. Process, and then I subtracted the face layer from what I have selected. So now I can paint in this region and not have to worry about any shadows going onto her face. Alrighty then, and then go back to shadow paint. So even though the layer that I'm working on is over the layer that I'm trying to avoid, it's going to look like I'm painting underneath it. Let's go here. Expand that out. Well, it's closest to the darkest. Core shadow, and then fade out to gradient shadow. Broaden this out just a little bit. The shadows are my friend. Especially when I'm trying to create something that's not going to get me in trouble with AI and become like blocked. So let's do even more. We need, don't worry about lips, tail. Boom. Select that layer, select this, select that. Shit. So I get that, and then I want to hit the Shift key so that it becomes additive, so I can select everything that's in that layer. Oh, and then give it its own shadow layer. Tail, shadow, boom, 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 giggity. All right, and then I can use this. Now this is showing me a little bit of specular highlight in the shadow of what I have for the hip section for this doll. So I want to replicate that a little bit. Because I'm working in layers, I can do like so. Now I'm seeing where the hair has got shadow on it, and on this part too, but that may not be a bad thing. What just fell? Oh, my pen cozy. Okay. That, and then go on the outside edge of that. Tail. Just get shaded in. Just shade that in from the base, like so. And just do the underside. So even though people can barely see it, it's still treated properly. Dark on the gradient, little light touch there. Okay, Control Shift A to deselect that entire section. Yeah, it's coming along. Lips, shadow. Where's my draft? Draft sketch. Bam. Drop that. Boom. Get to the forearm later. And then we drop the size of our brush. Let's go really thin. Yeah, really, really thin. Let's try getting rid of that altogether. Go back to lip shadow layer, get rid of that. It's definitely coming along. How long have I been doing this? Okay, an hour and 15 minutes. It's not bad. What time is it? 4. 4 on the dot. Ooh, new Final Fantasy game officially revealed. What? Let's go back to the nose that started it all. Really work on getting that bottom line etched in good and sharp. Get those angles and curves properly represented. Well, I was going to sell you, and I'm wondering if I want to keep this action figure, just because it is such a valuable reference. Now, I know I got to do some shading with her hair, too. That's part of the whole reason why I put all the hair over it first. I could try painting it all in hand, bit by bit, but I don't really want to do that. I definitely feel like I've made good progress today. Do I want to call it, or do I want to work some more? I mean, the next step, if I wanted to keep working with the layers that I currently have been working on, would be the specular highlights. So I've done the dark. Specular highlights would be where I start bringing out the light touches. Yeah, I did do the thing that I wanted to do though, like where her eyes follow you. I think that was an important feature. I do like the idea of having that on the cover of my book, where you set it on the shelf and it's looking at you, like no matter where you are in the room, Arista is watching you. I love it when I can pull that effect off. I feel like I've done it here. I'm definitely gonna have to change the color of the title. Maybe like a light bright blue. Let's go back to this effect. Select that. Boom. Select shadow paint. Got that brush. Got that brush. Just a light touch. Not a lot, just a little bit. Control Shift A. Yep. All right. Select that layer. Shadow. Oh, draft sketch. No, draft sketch goes up above that. Select that layer. Boom. Upper. What am I capitalizing? Upper arm. Shadow. And then draft sketch. Down. Lulabelle. Please, Lou. Could you not? Lula. Lula. You're so pretty. You're so pretty, Lou. Shut up. Yeah. He's a good baby. Just a light touch there. Dares text me now. Okay. Soft eraser. Drop the opacity down a little bit. Alright, let's see if I get rid of the draft sketch layer. Control Shift A. Mm. Okay. I'm gonna check out that text real quick. Ooh. Oh, legs. Oh. Hi, Lou. Got caught reading my own book in public today. That was interesting. I was donating plasma, and I decided to bring my own book to do a quick review. And I was taking notes because I found some flaws on the first 4 pages that I didn't like. None after that, just the first 4 pages. Someone commented, they looked at my chart, they looked at the book, they looked at my chart. I'm like, did you write that? Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, she's coming along. She's definitely coming along. Yeah, good progress today. I'm gonna keep playing with it, but I think it's a good time for me to take a break. I used to be able to do this shit for a whole day easily, but I want to save some stuff for tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. I feel like I've done good today. I'm not disappointed with myself. She's coming along. Suppose I could have done a little more shading in the booble area. Just get that line, that little V, that little... Fuck. All right. Just a little bit more. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. I'm just gonna play with her breastises, just a little bit, not a lot of bit, just enough. Shadow paint. Back on that. Opacity. Drop the opacity. Yeah. So what I want to do is from under the clavicle. Why is it so dark? Why is it so dark? Just ashy looking. Boom. Okay. So what I did was created another layer. Now I'm just going to paint this in dark as fuck. Now that that's done, I come here. I can go to the opacity setting and just lower the whole thing. So it's at like 10%. And underneath that, fine, 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 fine. Perfect. Okay. All right. I'm going to call that for the day. And then tomorrow, look at doing the forearm, the hand, that whole thing, and play around with specular highlights and hair shadow. But it's getting there. It's getting very close. All right. And then I still got to do title treatment, change the color of the title, clean up the hair layers so that they're not spilling over on the middle, medium. Figure out what I'm going to do with the background. Yeah, I've still got, I don't know, a few days of working on this before it's done. But I can hit File and Save. Boom. And end this stream because that's about an hour and a half of work. So, I feel good for now. I feel good. Thank you so much for joining me, Stokes. And slap that Ashy. Appreciate you, ladies. I don't know if I'll be back on again tonight. I suppose if I wanted to be responsible, I would start the chapter that I started that I finished. I started and finished the outline this morning. But I might just dedicate some time to looking for an actual job and see how that goes. Because the only thing I've found available right now would be working at AutoZone for $15.50 an hour part time, and that ain't shit. Probably wouldn't be enough to get my wife back, making a whole $1,000 a month. So I'll be back mañana at the latest. Peace.